So as you may have read by the title already, yeah, there is a new policy in Sausage High School, aka the school that I go to, and no, it's not actually called that. I just call it that because I don't want to give away the actual name of the school. But I get well, that's one of the reasons. But I guess one of the other reasons because of the fact that I can't take this school seriously at all, and I have this paper here which reads out the no cell phone policy. Yeah, so the no cell phone policy, it's the first word that really comes to mind is Band-Aid. So, you know, like, it's such a big Band-Aid, and I'm going to explain why. Well, I mean, I have this piece of paper here, so I'm going to read this out. Yeah, I don't know why I'm bantering. Let's just read this out already. Alright, yeah, so, Sausage High School cell phone policy 2019 to 2020. Yeah, it's a brand new policy. It's effective this year, and I think this policy should just be evaporated or gotten rid of the next year. So let's see. So, dear parents and or guardians, I want to make a joke out of that, but I can't think of anything right now. Anyway, cell phones have become a way of life, a technological convenience that has impacted all of our lives in one way or another. However, in the school environment, cell phones can be a distraction and interruption that takes away from the valuable time needed for instruction, and most importantly, student learning. Really? So apparently now they want to make the claim that apparently cell phones have gone to a point where it's getting in the way of education, even though, ironically, cell phones can be a way that we educate ourselves in the first place, because the American education system in general, is so garbage that you learn a bunch of stuff that you never needed to know, well, based on what you're planning to do for your whole life and stuff. You know, ironically, you could learn more from your phone than anything that you could learn from your teacher after an hour of essential blabbering, basically, you know. So, no, phones don't necessarily take away from the valuable time needed for instruction, because, like I just said, ironically, you can learn a lot more from phones than what your teacher tells you. So, that's complete utter rubbish. As a school community, we're working hard to balance student voice and independence while fostering academic success. Yeah, that's complete and utter rubbish, because, I voiced a lot of my opinions in the past 3 years that I've been going to this school that I cannot take seriously, and so far, none of what I said has mattered and has changed nothing. In fact, instead of the school getting better, it's gotten worse. In fact, every year they come with some new stupid rule that makes absolutely no sense and serves absolutely no purpose, and this is only just the latest one. God knows what they're going to come up with next year. Oh, I'm so glad I won't be around to find out. But yeah, after reviewing student surveys in which we had over 550 responses, meeting with student council, and discussing data with leadership team, effective Monday, October the 21st of 2019. Yeah, so I actually took that survey that they just mentioned and actually wrote out quite a number of opinions. And it's clear to me, based on this piece of paper, that none of my opinions either mattered or they went through. You know, like, either what happened is that when I did the survey, either my opinions went through, they quickly glossed over it, and then they just read all the stuff that was written out about all the silly sausages that took the survey. They were like, yeah, we have this one guy here who left a very intricate and interesting opinion and response, but we're just gonna ignore that because that's just an unpopular opinion. Yeah, we're Sausage High School. We don't take in the unpopular opinions because we think we know everything. Oh my goodness. And I think another insulting thing I should mention is that this year they actually have new principals. Like, I think there's a new principal, there's a new assistant principal, and then there's a new thingy principal. Okay, no, there's actually one principal and 3 vice principals, and 3 of those are the one principal and the 2 other vice principals. Those are replaced, essentially. Those are new principals that they've gone for the school, because the old ones were no good, so they just fired them and replaced them. And oh man, you know, at first glance I actually thought, maybe we could see some improvement in Sausage High School. Yeah, funny enough, so far all I've seen is negative changes, such as this. But I mean, I guess this has been some of the minor inconsistencies, but this is really the icing on the cake right here. Yeah. Alright, so discussing data, blah 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 blah. Salt Lake High School will implement the following cell phone policy. The policy will be rolled out to the entire school community on blah blah blah. As we have grade level assemblies to distribute the policy and questions with our students. Yeah, they actually had assemblies about this band-aid of a policy, which I didn't attend. I'm not sure why I didn't attend it actually, but thank goodness I didn't, because man, I don't know, maybe I should have, because I could have at least used that as an opportunity to voice my opinions, but, well, like I said earlier, what's the point? They don't care about unpopular opinions, It's pretty much, it's basically, it's just a bunch of sheep, really, all these silly sausages that you cannot take seriously. And by silly sausages, I mean the students, but I like to refer to them as silly sausages because they're nothing more than that, to be honest. They're just, I guess I should say, most of them, they're brain dead, unintelligent, stupid, which is funny because somehow they found, when we actually took the SAT stuff earlier this year, somehow all the silly sausages found it to be easy. Meanwhile, I just found it to be a bunch of really hard stuff. But then again, I don't care about the SAT. I'm going to college. College is for, I'm not going to college. Okay. Moving on. Yeah. So here comes the interesting bits. Students will be allowed to use their cell phones only during transition time in the hallways and during the lunch period. Well, funny enough, during the transition time, you literally have zero time to even go from one class to another. Not zero time, about 3 minutes, which is only enough just to get from one class to another. I'll give these guys credit here. I'm thinking about I think there's about 5 minutes between each bell from one period to another. And, at the very least, 5 minutes is at least enough to get from one period to another. But that's it. That's all you have time for in that transition period. Beyond that, you really don't have time for much else. So it's like, what is the point of you being allowed to use your phone during that transition period, considering how short the transition period is? It's like, and even then, why would you honestly mess up? Okay, maybe I don't know this because I'm not a silly sausage like 90% of the other students are, so I don't like to waste my time during the transition period. I usually just go from one class to another and be there as soon as I can, because I actually have the decency to not mess about the entire day, unless I can't take the school seriously. But I don't know, I guess I can't say much about that because I'm not a silly sausage, so, I don't have the mind of a silly sausage, so I can't really see where they're coming from. I don't know. But the silly sausage is an entirely different beast entirely. I don't even want to delve into the mind of a silly sausage because it's a dark, horrible place, and I don't even want to stick my fingers in there. I just want to just stay out of there because I'm too smart of a person to do that. I'm not sounding egotistical. That's just facts. Okay, maybe it's a little bit egotistical, but you get the point. Anyway, yeah. So there's that. And the other ironic thing about the lunch period is that the cafeteria is actually the only place in the whole school where I literally can't use my phone, or at least can't go on the internet with my phone, because the roof of the cafeteria is so thick that that Wi-Fi data can't get to the phone. So, yeah. How's that for irony? The lunch period is the only logical time during school where you can use your phone without getting shot down for it, and yet you can't use your phone there because you can't get any Wi-Fi data. Yeah. Oh, the irony. But yeah, anyway, cell phones will not be allowed to be used in classrooms or any academic setting unless granted permission. Which is 0% of the time. As in 0% of the time they grant you permission to use your phone, so there's no sense in that, because... Okay, actually, that's a bit of a lie. There are some teachers in Salt Lake High School, to be honest, that do let you use your phone if you want to, if you're not doing anything, but that depends on the teacher, Some teachers, some teachers are actually less strict about the policy, and you're allowed to use your phone whenever you're not doing anything, whereas other teachers, they're more strict about the policy, whereas you cannot use your phone no matter what. If you do get your phone, you deserve detention for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's an over-exaggeration, but you get the point. Yeah. Also, this rules will not apply if the teacher allows cell phones for educational purposes only, which is 0% of the time. There is literally no time during the day when a teacher says, "Hey, you can use your phone for educational purposes only." So what's the use of that, honestly? Yeah, here's the juice. Here's the juicy stuff. If a student does not adhere to the policy, the following steps will be followed. On the first offense, the administrator will be notified. Administrator will leave the cell phone in the office until the end of the day. If before lunch, student will get it during lunch, but must get back to the administrator after lunch. If after lunch, student will get the phone back at the end of the day. Student will sign that he/she cell phone received the phone at the end of the day. That is not how you grammar at all, by the way. Yeah, so basically, that's the thing. I mean, you lose your phone for a day, which, I mean, if you're me, or if you're like me and you use your phone, funnily enough, I have a phone, which is why this applies to me in every single sensitive word, as in, I have to care about it because it's shoved in my face in half the periods, but, you know, I carry a phone with me, that sounds stupid, and I like to pull my phone now out and again because, you know, classes becomes boring, you know, look, so, yeah, thank goodness for Twitter. Oh, man, I don't know where I would be without Twitter. I love Twitter, by the way. Follow me on Twitter. Link in the description. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I will come to your house and I will confiscate everything. Anyway, but yeah, I like to use Twitter whenever I become bored, and maybe even YouTube, but that's rare because YouTube requires sound, which Twitter doesn't, unless it's a Twitter video, in which case I'd like to tend to... Anyway, that's irrelevant. The point is, you know, if you don't have a phone, like, this is the no cell phone policy, but funny enough, if you don't even have a cell phone, you can just pretend the policy doesn't actually exist because it doesn't apply to you, but of course it applies to me because I have a phone, but, yeah, so basically, if you lose your phone, then, I guess it depends on how often you use your phone, you know, but, I guess for me, it would honestly be, I mean, it'd be sausagey, to say the least, but when isn't school sausagey? Anyway, second offense. Administrator will be notified. Administrator will leave cell phone in the office at the end of the day, blah, blah, blah. Parent or guardian will be notified, or parent or guardian will need to sign and pick up for cell phone. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, if you offend them twice, they're going to confiscate your phone, and they actually require your parents to go to the school to pick it up at the end of the day, which is, I mean, if you dislike your parents to an interesting, level, you can punish them by making them drive out to your school to pick up the phone, which, funny enough, if they don't have a car, then, oh man, they in trouble. Yeah, luckily my mom and dad, they have their own vehicles that they drive around, but, man, if somebody didn't, oh man, I can't even imagine, honestly. But, yeah, so, second offense, I mean, I guess it's more of an inconvenience than the first, which I'll break down a bit later in my conclusion to this. Anyway, third offense. Here's the interesting stuff. Administrator will be notified. Administrator will leave cell phone in the office at the end of the day. Parent will be notified, and then parent or guardian will be required to have a meeting with the student and the principal or designated administrator. Yeah. Basically, if you offend them 3 times with your phone, then your parents get to have a meeting with the administrators. I don't actually know how that would go down. Like, say if that were to happen. I actually don't know. Like, how would that happen? I don't even know. I mean, I can't even imagine I would go with silly stuff. Like, if it was an intelligent person like me, then, you know, maybe they would, or maybe I would say something or something. I'm not actually sure, but I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. I can't honestly say much of that, to be fair. But, anyway, additional offenses will be considered an act of insubordination. I don't even know what that means. Rules governing insubordination will apply as an outline in District Student Handbook. I don't even have one of those, so I can't say much for that. Sincerely, the Salt Lake High School Administrative Team, and it lists out the names of the principal, vice principal. I'm not going to read out because I don't want to mention any names for the sake of privacy. I just want to just read it. So yeah, so that's that paper. A complete and utter load of rubbish, as you probably said by now. So basically, what we can gain from that is that basically I guess you could say the whole reason why the no cell phone policy exists is so they can, I guess, try to, just try to, you know, increase, education time, like, I guess, you know, they want to try to do the best they can to prevent the average student from getting stuck on their phone to give them more education time. I don't know. And I think it's a complete little rubbish, and so you may be wondering, well, I bet you all you morons out there watching this video are like, well, Phony, if you think that the no cell phone policy is a complete utter rubbish, then how would you fix it? Well, don't worry, because I'm going to tell you that right now. Firstly, I guess now I should get into the reason why this policy I consider to be such a big band-aid, and they actually implemented this policy at the start of the school year, and then they implemented these changes that I read on the piece of paper, which are barely changes, this at the start of Monday of this week. Wait, so basically when they implemented those the changes that not even changes, basically they put on an even bigger band-aid, basically. So, you may be wondering, well, how is this a band-aid policy? Well, with this policy, they really try to, no, they don't try is the wrong word. They really want to lazily fix a problem that has plagued Salt Lake High School for God knows how long. And, apparently, because I guess the issue is that students are failing classes and they have to say the same grade over and over again. And there's 1,000,001 reasons for that, to be honest. But phones are apparently the issue. Yeah, apparently students, stay on paper, apparently students are failing their grades because they're on their phones too much. Oh, that sounds so stupid. And it's true, too. It's funny because it's true. That's honestly what these administrators and these principals think. That phones are the reason why so many of these silly salters are failing school. Which I can say is complete rubbish, and I can tell you why. Like I just said earlier, there's 1,000,001 reasons why silly salties fail school on a yearly basis. Well, first up, is because, well, first of all, the teachers are no good. Well, half of them anyway. Maybe the teachers aren't that bad, but some of them are absolutely terrible. Like back in 11th grade, man, my teachers in history class and chemistry class were awful, absolutely terrible. They had nice personalities, but their teaching abilities were non-existent, and it was just impossible to learn anything. No wonder that so many silly soldiers are failing school. It's because the teachers don't know what they're doing either. That's another part of the problem. Teachers don't know what they're doing, and they're not conveying what they're trying to teach in the right way. That's why students can't understand. Well, silly soldiers anyway. Why they can't they can't grasp the lesson that that the teacher's trying to learn them, because the teacher is conveying the lesson in such a terrible way, as in the silly souls just get all confused and they cannot understand it. So funny enough, phones aren't even the main reason why students are failing school. It's because the teachers don't know what they're doing. That's the First of all, that's the biggest reason. Second reason, the reason why students go on their phone in the first place is because, like me, they become bored at times. Sometimes the class gets boring, so they feel they go and get on their phones. And I think the most offensive part about that is the fact that, funny enough, this week alone, since this new bigger band-aid was implemented, there have been times where I should have been able to use my phone, but I wasn't. For example, just today even, the day that I'm recording this video, in one of the English classes, we were essentially just doing nothing for the period because the teacher wasn't there because SATisms. We weren't even learning anything. There wasn't a lesson going on. We were literally just there, just doing effectively nothing. And yet, even in that period, we couldn't even use our phones. And I don't even know why. Just, what is the point? And you want to know what's even more ironic about this new cell phone policy? There are actual loopholes that I've actually discovered in the system, because funnily enough, in that English class where we were effectively doing nothing, it's like you cannot bring out your phone and use that for even 5 seconds, but if you bring, say, a laptop or an iPad or something that is an electronic device but not a phone, that is totally okay. Yeah, it's like you can't use your phone and stuff like that. It's like, you can't use your phone because of education reasons, but if you want to use your laptop or your iPad or whatever other electronic device, that's completely and utterly fine. Yep, it's like phones, you can't use them, but if it's anything else, go right ahead. We don't care if it's anything that's beyond the phone. It's like these administrators are so stupid that they become so bent on phones because phones are the main thing, but yet if it's anything else, like anything else, completely fine. Like, there's no balance to this policy. It's just like, you can't, I don't know, it's so dumb, it's so stupid, and I've made this video just to explain why. So you may be asking, and I guess another reason why they're failing class is because, I guess maybe using their phones is one of the reasons why they might be failing, which is probably the reason why this policy exists in the first place. But guess what? I have a fix for that. If you don't want students getting on their phones for even 5 seconds, the way to fix that is simply to make school more entertaining. It's as simple as that. Because there are times where school becomes boring, dull, and no one has fun. Then they go on their phones. But you can just totally solve all that by literally just making class more entertaining. Get better teachers that are entertaining, in a way. Like, oh man, like half of the teachers in that school are just so boring. I mean, it depends on the day of the week though. Some days they're actually kind of interesting. The other days they're just like, here's a lesson, take it and do it, blah blah blah. It's just a mess, man. So, you can always train your teachers to, make them more entertaining, so, students won't feel the need to bring out their phones because they'll be so hooked on the lesson that they'll be like, yes, this is actual entertainment, and I'm never gonna use this stuff in my life, but at the very minimum, it's entertaining. So, yeah, it's like, just make class more entertaining, and more importantly, if classes, if there's like situations like the English class today where we just do nothing for the whole period, just let us use our phones. There's absolutely no reason not to, honestly. So, yeah. So basically, in short, what I would do about this policy, well, first of all, get rid of the policy, and just make class more entertaining, and actually, it's as simple as that, honestly. Just make school more entertaining, Make students feel engaged. They don't feel the need to take out their phones whenever they feel the need to. Unless there's no lesson going on, they're just in a break, So, yeah. Anyway, I think I pretty much said everything I need to really say. I'm actually considering, scheduling an appointment with the principals and the vice principals just to, pretty much talk to them and just share my opinions that I've shared in this video, because it's clear to me that my answers in that survey did absolutely nothing, but I feel if I can talk to those administrators face to face, then maybe we can actually have some good change for once at Salters High School. But if that doesn't happen, then, well, I'll just be glad this is my last year, because luckily I am a senior this year in high school, which means once I pass this year, no more high school for me. So that means that whatever stupid, needless policy they come up with next year in Salters High School, luckily I won't be there to see it. And oh my goodness, get off of the stupid these things on the iPad. But anyway, but yeah, to the point. Yeah, luckily this is my last year. As soon as June arrives, I am out, and I will never have to worry about high school ever again. So hey, when the ship finally sinks, I won't be there to see it, and it'll serve everyone right. But if they do take in my opinions and they make the right changes for once, then maybe I'll start taking school a little bit more seriously than I already do. But until that happens, I'll just be glad this is my last year of high school, and then I can go on to either a university or start my racing career. If we have the money to do that by then. But anyway, that is all for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys, and, if your school, too, has a no cell phone policy like the one I just read out today, maybe do what I might do. Try to schedule an appointment with the principals, and maybe if the principals in question are intelligent enough, you can get your opinion across, and they will take it in and actually make the right call for once, or in general. I don't know, but yeah. And that is all. There's a 25-minute video. This video has become way longer than I originally expected. I know I probably dragged this video on a bit because I don't want to edit this video because I'm too lazy. But that's all I have to say for now, and I will see you in the next video.